Sports stories from the 419 in Northwest Ohio, brought to you by a voice you know. It's time to go around the area and around the Hearn.
Hello there, and welcome to a brand spanking new Around the Hearn. We've got a lot of things to get to, including a couple of great softball coaches. Tony Fairchild from Tinora and Brooke Austin, the head coach of the Western Buckeye League, Kenton Wildcats. Both come on and talk about their respective teams and spend some time talking about the world of softball. And there's a lot of things to get to in the area. Baseball and softball tournaments getting started this week, and a lot of games that were going on yesterday at Lima Senior in Wapak. Today, as I sit here on a Tuesday afternoon, Shawnee and Bath, Salina and Elida, Napoleon at Kenton in Division 2. Winners get Bryan, LB, St. Mary's, and Van Wert, respectively. D3 got to wait a couple of days if you're Tinora. We'll talk about that as well. Tinora will get the winner of today's Archbold and Delta game. Bluffton goes to Ottawa Glandorf, Jefferson and Van Buren, Fort Recovery at Fairview, Allen East at Coldwater in Division 3, and a lot coming up about the Cavaliers in just a second. Division 4 kind of split with North and South in our area. Kalida and Pandora-Gaboa hooking it up. Continental and Crestview, which was a banger of a game yesterday. Holgate and Lipsick in a big set of matchups again yesterday, too. Had Spencerville and Perry, Ridgemont LCC, Waitsfield Goshen, St. Henry, Hard Northern USV. All of those waiting for teams like Minster, Marion, Ada, and New Bremen to get started. Lincoln View gets their tournament run on the 9th underway. The NWC stalwart takes on Audubon. And just a lot of great games going on throughout the course of the area. Boys side had their draw last week. Division 4 has got Holgate at Miller City. Winner gets Lipsick, who this weekend is in for a big challenge on Friday night when they get Lincoln View. Audubon at Kalida. Winner of that one gets Lincoln View on the 16th. St. John's off a big win against Spencerville last night. They will open their tournament at Continental. And the winner going to Ayersville. Jefferson and Fort Jennings, a much-improved Musketeer team, goes to Patrick Henry after the first game is over. Bluffton at Cary in Division 3. Winner goes to Coldwater. Allen East at Grove. Winner goes to Eastwood. OG at Van Buren. Winner goes to Liberty Benton on the 17th. If it's OG, it'll be fascinating because that's an OG team that actually beat LB at LB last year in the tournament. Spencerville goes to Elmwood. Winner of that goes to Wayne Trace. And then Tinora and Paulding, or Tinora and Otsego on the boys' side in baseball. D2, the Western Buckeye League's got Defiance and Fostoria. Van Wert at Bryan, Elida at Bath. Kenton at Lexington and St. Mary's at Shawnee. There are just far too many of these to get to, but yesterday the biggest news in the area and in the state is that the new competitive balance numbers came out. A lot of teams moving around with the now 7 divisions in basketball. A lot of teams kind of found out where they're going to be. A good portion of the D3 teams moved down to D5. Ottawa Glandorf's boys dropped to D4. The girls are in D5. Spencerville in D6, just on both sides. Kind of a handful of things. Collegiately, the OAC golf title belongs to Ohio Northern University. Grace Honigford got co-medalist honors shooting a .302. Her team broke the school record for 72 holes by, get this, 32 shots. The ONU men and their third straight OAC tournament title. The women's tennis team got their first since 2013. Findlay softball fell in the GMAC championship game last week, and after a big run, lacrosse women also lost in the championship. Track and field, both the men's and women's swept the outdoor titles. Findlay baseball is off to another 20-win season. They're 27-20. Second straight year they've gone over 20 wins after taking 3 of 3 last week, and they were supposed to play 4, but Mother Nature said no thanks. Against Lake Erie. They actually are at Prasco Park down in Mason. If you haven't been down there, please go there. It is an amazing facility to watch a game from, and all the food's free. Shawnee boys win the tennis title for the 4th straight year. Columbus Grove boys win the PCL Track and Field Championships. And Trent Barraza continues to do what TB does. First in 4 different events. Lauren Laudick from Kalida in the same weekend broke the PCL record of the 400-meter dash. Kalida Wildcat girls win the overall title. Audubon's Garrett Trentman breaks the PCL record of the 300-meter hurdles. Congratulations to both of those youngsters. Track and field for OG, though, had a good weekend as well. Broke a bunch of records Friday night in Galleon. 4x100-meter relay team of Liv Grotehouse, Delaney Dooling, Savannah Recker, and Avery Fox, all with a new record. Anna Buttlemeyer broke a 2-year record held by Alexa Fortman, because who else would it be in the 1,600-meter run? Leanna Fortman broke Dana Landwehr's 2011 record in the 800-meter run, and that is a look at a lot of things going on in the area. Brooke Austin from Kenton, Tony Fairchild from Tinora, both coming up here in just a few minutes.
Are you in Spencerville and looking for a place to eat before the Bearcats play? Well then, head to my place, 128 North Broadway, for deep-fried mushrooms, chili cheese fries, the best pie around, and soup of the day. If you're in a hurry and just want to order some to go, you can give Doug and his staff a call at 419-647-4062, and they'll have it ready for you. My Place Restaurant at 128 North Broadway in Spencerville, a proud supporter of Bearcat Athletics.
When there are games going on and Mother Nature doesn't throw a temper tantrum, the Kenton Wildcat program has been having a terrific spring under first-year head coach Brooke Austin. And if you don't know, they are the Western Buckeye League champions. Have you even remotely gotten tired of hearing that?
No, I have not. It's pretty cool.
Just a couple of days, kind of where that sets in with that win. You guys were trailing in the 5th against Shawnee. You come back and end up getting a win. What was the bus ride home like? And then when you kind of got closer to home with the fire trucks and with everything that kind of comes along with that?
Yeah, well, the girls were super excited. I don't know who spilled the beans about what was going to happen when we got into town, but the girls all knew about it by the time we were on the bus. So everybody was just anticipating us getting closer to town. And then once we got close to town, it was just really cool to see everybody out at the Moose and then going through town and random people on the street. And you're just like, yeah, and screaming and hollering at them. They're like, what is going on with all this stuff coming through? Because, I mean, they brought out all of it, the fire trucks and the EMS, and we had cops there, too. It was pretty cool.
And plus, you got to have the cops to get you through town with all that construction you have going on.
Yeah. Well, that made it a little bit of a maze, but and we didn't have to stop at any stoplights, so that was cool.
That's the one time I think you'll get to use that. But it is such a neat thing because I know that, like, with a lot of those girls playing, that they play a lot of towns. I know Putnam County is real big on fire trucks when you win something for the first time or a district or whatever it is. That, I mean, I would imagine a little bit of that was they had to know, but now I am curious to know who texted their daughter and said, hey, when are you guys getting here? Why, Mom? There's no reason.
I know. I'm like, dang, you guys ruined it. They didn't know that they weren't supposed to know, but it's okay. I mean, they were so super excited. And then, of course, once we got to the field house, there was a lot of people at the school. So that was fun. And the girls got to run through and see all the little girls singing Rah Rah for Kenton. That was cute. I don't know if you've seen the videos of it, but it was pretty fun.
Well, and that's such a neat thing because one of the big things that you talked about in the preseason was that you were looking forward to this season because of your leaders and because you felt like you had a lot of smart girls, but that you were hoping that it would kind of set what the program could be for a number of years. Did you envision that this is what that would be able to set? Because now you've got a bar about what happens.
I know. You know, I was very hopeful and knew that we had a lot of talent on the team. So, but bringing that out in them and being able to see them just succeed is really cool. And I'm hoping that that'll get more girls out to play. And then the younger girls will be able to see the success and continue to just thrive on that and then get more WBL wins and continue to just do well and play some really good ball. So
I say this because, one, I think he's a very talented individual, and two, I consider him a friend. But Sean Blevins has done a great job of covering your season. And one of the things that he said to me was he feels like you have a team from top to bottom that could compete with anybody coming into this season, but that they just kind of had to find themselves and realize, because you hadn't done it before, of, hey, we can be that team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, Sean has been great. He's come to a majority of our games. I'm sure he's tired of hearing my voice at this point, talking to me after. But, yeah, he's been very supportive. And, I mean, he's right. When it comes from the whole season all the way up, even the beginning of the season, our coaching staff, we were just like, man, like, what do we got to do to bring this out in them? Like, we're trying to pull, but we can't do it for them. And then, I don't know, it just clicked. The Bath game was probably the biggest turnaround. They did really well, and they were like, oh, man, we've never beat Bath, I don't think, in a long time. I don't recall if we have ever. And so that one was like, oh, man, we could be good. We can do this. And then, yeah, it just kind of jump-started us, and then taking on WBL games like the whole next week after that. That was pretty crazy. And I don't know. It just all worked out in our favor, and the girls did end up finding themselves and finding that confidence that we as coaches knew was there, and the talent was there. It just needed to find its way out a little bit.
A handful of people have sort of described, because you come in being a younger, new coach of, you played softball at Indian Lake, or the Lake, as some would say, and at Heidelberg, that you kind of bring that different culture of being from the area-ish, but not necessarily, kind of Kenton, a Kenton background. How was it for you of maybe just a little bit of maybe changing the mojo, or just kind of changing things coming in, but not upsetting the apple cart?
Yeah, I just wanted to bring a different focus, a different feel to the team. Definitely more community type of feel was awesome. I mean, we held our camp earlier in the winter, and that was really successful. We had a ton of girls out, and just knowing that your community is behind you and backing you. And yeah, I think the background has definitely helped me kind of pull that out of them, and just to see, that success, and you can be talented and succeed and do well. But it just takes that little extra effort, and just changing the expectation a little bit more too, like in practice, you have to have all your stuff out. You have to have all this stuff here. You can't be late. You can't do this. And just putting that expectation in practice, and then in games, like, just come out and play for your team. Know when you have 2 outs where you need to put the ball. Know if you have girls on base, how can you get them in? And just getting them into that mindset a little bit more, and thinking about ball a little bit too has helped.
In your league games, 8 of the 9 are decided by 4 runs or less. You go 8-1. I mean, is there a point in each game where you're, okay, I've said this is not working. What is it possibly that I can say, or maybe do I not have to say anything to one of these girls as they sort of figure it out midway through the season?
Yeah, I definitely have had to kind of talk to them a little bit, just be like, hey guys, we're not playing our game right now, or someone step up. If it's not our leaders that are going to be hitting today, one of you guys need to pull it out and show them what you got, so we can get this game rolling. And I think the Shawnee game, I told the girls that we were waiting to look for a strike instead of going after the ball, wanting every pitch to be a strike and going after that. So then I think they were able to see, oh, okay, I'm playing a little timid. Maybe if I was a little bit more aggressive on those strikes that I do see, then it might be more successful. So, but honestly, the girls are the ones that end up pulling it out in every single game. I could tell you any number of girls that have stepped up, and from freshmen to seniors have played well and done well on the bases. Base running's been crazy for us this year. So it's been cool. It's been cool to watch and see each girl kind of step up and play the game and pull each other up.
You have probably one of my favorite quotes that I've read this year from a coach describing one of their players. You're talking about base running. Your part of your quote is, Emily Pease is crazy on the bases. And it just kind of made me laugh of just kind of picturing you searching for a way to describe what she's done on the base pass. But how important has that been, sort of setting that tone for you guys early on?
I think, I told the girls too, I said, we're going to come out strong. And I know you guys have the knowledge, the game knowledge to be able to go out there and see, okay, that's a changeup. I can steal on that changeup. Or that pitch is low. I'm going to go after that ball because it's going to be harder for the catcher to get up. Or, okay, maybe we need to do a fake bunt or a bunt or this to get people around the bases. But I don't really love leaving people on first. I don't do it very often. So it's nice to see that the girls kind of get what I'm going for there and taking that extra base when they can, or see that there's not anyone covering the bag like the other day, then they can just take that base and go for it. And Emily is one, Tot's one. I mean, I have even Macy, Bryn, some will steal for me sometimes. Like, they just have good knowledge and they know that I'm not going to be mad. Like, if they get out, I mean, listen, we're trying to play ball here. We're trying to make moves. So unless it's going to be game killing, then go out there and try your best and try something. Most of the time people aren't ready for you to try something. So I think I just kind of give them that, okay, you do your thing and I'll be right here to watch
I might
it.
be miffed for a second, but it's fine. You talk about Bryn Butler.
Yeah.
A handful of people have told me from watching her that she just gets things done that you need done. I mean, 3 games this year where she's had a walk-off single with an RBI to win the game. A lot of folks are kind of in that camp, though, that maybe she would be in the running for WBL Player of the Year. Is that what you see when you see her play?
Oh, 100%. I honestly have never seen someone in college, in my high school career, throughout the years, who can just go up there and you know what, Bryn's coming up to bat, we're cool. Everything's cool. She'll go up there and do something with it. And, she's got crazy eyes when she's in the batter's box. She can see, she knows which pitches she should go for and which ones she shouldn't based on the count. And, we've had a lot of powwows because, usually there's a big timeout when Bryn comes up and then everybody's on base and it's like tied 4-4 in the bottom of the 9th or something like crazy like that. And she's just like, you know what? I got you. I'm putting this ball in the outfield. See, make sure you tag up. Make sure you get there. I got you, girl. So that's pretty cool. That's really crazy to watch. She's definitely someone that I will fight and fight and fight for saying to go for that Player of the Year. So
as we sit and tape this, it's a Friday afternoon. You're supposed to wrap up your regular season with a game today and a game tomorrow, starting your tournament on the 7th next week. But is there any rush to maybe get in the gym or wherever it is you guys are hanging banners now and walk in there and go, can someone put my number up on this softball banner, please, now?
It's funny you say that because I was talking to my AD about it yesterday, and he's like, well, we got to take this picture. We got to do this. And I'm like, yeah, we could do it before the game on Tuesday, but, I'm not focused about that right now. I want the girls to be ready to continue to play ball, and we can take pictures and do all the stuff after we keep going and keep pushing through the rest of our season and then into tournaments. So once we get this stuff moving through, and we'll see how it all plays out. I'm pretty excited to see how it does, and then we'll get to put that banner up, and the girls will be super excited. So,
well, I know that coaches always talk about, it's the next one and 1-0 and all of that, but I think that makes you better than me, because I would immediately be, hey, I'm going to go learn how to sew real quick, just so that I can go put that number up there and everybody can see it, because it's such a neat thing and a motivator, obviously, for you guys, hopefully, having a deep tournament run.
Oh, yeah. I think the girls are so focused on it, too. They are laser beamed in it. They're like, we're getting this done. We're going to make this happen. We're going to continue to do our best and work hard and the games aren't going to be easy. They're going to be tough, and we're tough, and we know we are tough, and we know that we can do it, and we know we can come back and win a game even if we're down by 4. So I really feel like that in the adversity that we've gone through this season and come out on top has allowed them to see that, you know, even if you're down, you don't hang your head. You just keep working through it and let it happen when it needs to happen. And we're really excited about tournaments coming up, and I'm excited that the girls are in the right headspace to do that. So
it is entirely possible, though, that you're setting a new standard. I mean, we talked about it kind of the way that it goes, but I mean, your first year where you've been able to come in, everybody's gotten on your page and be able to do this. How much is it to be able to go to the kids, maybe the younger girls we talked about earlier, and go, see, look, we put this work in, these kind of things happen. So if you continue to put this work in, we can make this a normal thing, not once in a blue moon.
Mm-hmm. Right. Or ever.
Well, I was trying to be nice.
You know, no, yeah, no, I know. It's totally fine. But yeah, it was really cool to see those younger girls. And you know what? I'm looking at them and I'm like, you know what? When you get up here, we can do this too. When you get up here, you'll be there, you know. And I've had multiple conversations with our middle school program, the 6th grade program. We've talked about the little league and all of that, and they've come to our games, the travel ball tournament girls that play around here. So they've come out to support, and we obviously go to support them. And we went to middle school and continuing to just make it more of we're all together in this instead of, oh, when you get to high school, let's try and figure it out type of thing. But I'm really going to push to a lot of the girls getting into travel ball tournaments or going to camps and continuing to better their play outside of the season so that when they get there, they're a little bit ahead of the game, and we can start to see a lot of talent come through and that experience come through all the way up. So.
Well, I can tell that your program is in great hands, and I wish you girls the best of luck the rest of the way.
Well, thank you so much. We are very excited, and I have a great coaching staff too. Angelica has been great, and Ashley Sumner, she's great as well. Us three just kind of blend and make it work and talk about stuff and get that going. So I want to say thank you for them as well, because they are awesome, and we all work together to make this happen with the girls and all of that. So
that's the head coach of the WBL champion softball team, the Kenton Wildcats, and Brooke Austin. We've got some more coming up here in a few. At Lee Kitzel Sales and Service, 650 West Irvin Road in Van Wert, we guarantee our best price for every new Chevrolet and GMC every day, always. At Lee Kitzel's, we also guarantee you'll come back happy with our service after the sale and earn top dollar for your trade-in, no matter what condition it's in. Not sure what's right for your next vehicle? Stop on out at 650 West Irvin Road and let our trained and helpful sales professionals put you in the right vehicle today, or browse online at leekitzel.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. Keeping with the theme of softball teams you should be paying attention to, it's Tinora. After a 13-1 win over Swanton today, 18-3 as we sit on Saturday afternoon, talking to the head coach and a Tinora graduate in Tony Fairchild. Congratulations on all the hard work so far paying off this year.
Oh, thank you. We've been playing well. It's been kind of a fun year.
So far, I mean, you kind of look at the last 3 games, 3 straight games with 10-plus runs, 11, 10, 13. You're outscoring opponents 34-2 as you go into your last handful of games. What is it about this team that when they go out, because you've been putting up a massive amount of runs throughout the course of the season, that they're finding it almost, is the game slowing down for them that they're able to figure out what pitchers are going to try to do?
No, it's just one of those things where our philosophy is, take a good swing at a good pitch and good things happen. And it's been our philosophy since I've been there. Just try to get the girls to, stay in the zone, not chase pitches, try to determine and try to be a little bit smart sometimes, what the pitcher might be trying to do, with their pitches. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think sometimes we get lucky, but sometimes, preparation is key, and we do prep a little bit for that kind of stuff, and And girls have just been taking advantage of, that opportunity. And the other thing is, when pitchers make mistakes, that's one thing we always talk about all the time is, if a pitcher makes a mistake and misses and throws a fat one, you better be ready to jump on it. So we're ready to hit every pitch, and whatever happens, happens.
I really wish you'd have been around. You're about 10 years older than I am. Then to me, as a senior, to tell me not to swing at bad pitches, because I might have been a decent hitter then.
It's just we just try to tell them to take a good swing at a good pitch, and I really try to drive that point home. And if you swing at a bad pitch, then I was told a long time ago from a hitting coach that I worked with is there's two things that I can't help you with as a coach. I cannot help you choose the pitch that you swing at, and I cannot help you swing the bat. Those two things you have to take care of as a hitter. Your balance, your speed, your hand placement, your hand, all that stuff we can work on. But those two things I can't control. If you want to go up there and swing at pitches in the dirt or pitches out of the zone, I can't control that. And if you want to go up there with the bat on the shoulder and never take a swing, well, I can't control that either. So I just tell them, get up there, good pitch, get the bat on it, and let's see what happens. And sometimes, we don't get the ball hit. We don't hit the ball great. A great example is Hilltop. We didn't have an earned run. We beat them 4-0. we hit the ball, and they made a couple mistakes, and we capitalized and was able to score runs off of them. We didn't even have an earned run. So that's why I tell the girls, and after that game, I explained it to them. Like, right there is a great example. Today is a great example of put the ball in play, and let's see what happens.
You had 10 or 11 games on the road during the month of April. That, first of all, just sounds insane. And we were talking about this earlier, that it kind of plays it down a little bit that you had a handful of doubleheaders. But with the buses being, some of those are not easy trips and against good teams. Yeah. Was there a thing of maybe getting out early in those games? Because on 3 straight days, Hicksville, Evergreen, and then the first game against Coldwater, you guys jump out early. You end up winning those games by a 32-0 combined score. Of maybe we get off the bus and start hitting earlier. It makes these trips seem a little bit not as long.
I did when you read off the stats, I'm like, wow. No, we just we get out there and we approach every game the same and every at bat the same, no matter what. It's we try to get out there, we try to jump early, we take advantage of good pitches, and and then with you got Zolman on the mound. You give her a 4 or 5 run lead, then she can settle in and do her thing. And, we try to do our best, and we haven't done that every game, but there's been a few games where it's taken us a little bit to get moving. But, I don't know. I just, if you mentioned that stat, it's kind of like, wow, that's kind of mind boggling. But yeah, bus rides have been pretty long. We've traveled quite a ways to play some of our games this year. We went to Lincoln View twice. We went down to Lincoln View, on a weeknight. Well, we went to weeknight this time, but we went on a weeknight, got down there and got 2.5 innings in. Literally after we got done with our at bat, it started raining and rained us out. So I talked to Eric, and when we went back down, we decided if we come back down to finish the game, well, let's play 2 when we come down. And so when we went down there, we finished up the 1 game, and then we played a doubleheader while we were there. So made it worth the trip back all the way back down there.
They've had kind of a weird thing about that, because they also had that happen to them where when they went to Coldwater, they were involved in 2 different games against 2 different teams. Maybe it's just something about them.
Could be, but I was just glad that they were willing to do a doubleheader when we come back down there. Made it worth the trip. They got a nice ball club, a really nice ball club.
And that's what I was going to ask is, you have gone against, teams like them, teams against Coldwater, where you're not overly familiar with them. They're not really in your area. What was it about them kind of the last handful of years when you put that schedule together of, you know what, the adage is anywhere, anytime, anybody, we don't care. But you truly took that to heart and said, we know they have great players. They have a couple of great pitchers. Give me them. I don't care when, where, or what we have to do.
You said it right there. I want to play. There's no substitute for game time experience, and you can practice to your heart's content. And unfortunately, in Northwest Ohio, beginning of the season, you start February, and you might be lucky if you get outside. And a handful of times before you start playing games. And then you really just need to get game time experience, see live pitching. And you could, like I said, you can practice all you want, but, just get to see that live pitching. And then putting together the teams like Coldwater, Lincoln View, Van Buren, all good ball clubs. And that was my philosophy coming in when I first started coaching. Is like, listen, to be the best, you got to play the best. And 100% honest with you, after the Cardington Lincoln we took in the regionals. My first year I coached there 2 years ago. Really just kind of, we played some really tough competition in our district. We went 10 innings against Otsego in that district district championship game, and was able to pull out the win and advance. But when we got to Cardington Lincoln, we got throttled. It was 29-4, I think. We just got throttled, and I kind of made a determination that we need to play better teams. We need to get out and play against a better competition, and so that we're not surprised when we see teams like that when we get down that far in the tournament. So then this year, with the new AD, he came in and he says, "Well, what's the one? Because last year we did it. We scheduled some tougher teams, but we did it down the stretch. We added some games in because we weren't full. Our schedule wasn't full. Like last year, we went 20-8, and 6 of the 8 teams we lost to had a combined record of like 140-14 or something. So we lost to those teams. Well, the teams like Bryan and Defiance and East Side out of Butler, Indiana, state qualifiers, Springfield. We played some tough teams and we got beat. But, I think that prepared us for that stretch, that run down the stretch when we got into the district against Oak Harbor, found ourselves down by 5 runs, and was able to come back and win that game and then advance into the regional finals. And this year when the new AD came in, I said, he said, what can I do to help you, coach? And I said, fill my schedule. Give us 27 scheduled games. And, I know some of them will get rained out, but I want to play. Here's a list of teams that I'd like you to try to get. And that's what he did. He went after them and got those teams on the schedule.
You guys your program gets a terrific amount of coverage between the Crescent News and Tinora Ram Sports Live. I wanted to make sure to shout them out. But I love the article that Shane Nissen wrote about Zolman and kind of about her maturation. You're quoted as saying, when you have somebody that throws as hard as she does and she throws strikes, it makes it easy on you as a coach. What is it outside of that? I mean, she's program's all-time leader in strikeouts, in home runs. It's almost as if she was built in a lab for your program. And it's got to be cool, though, because you see the hard work. You see what she puts into it. But players like that statistically don't come around to smaller programs like Tinora all the time.
Yeah, Skyly literally lives right across the street from the Diamond, the Tinora softball Diamond, literally right across the street. So she can walk there from home. So it's just one of those things where when Skyly was younger, she was when I coached there at Tinora before as an assistant, she was there as a bat girl. Then she was there the year after I left when Tinora went to the state tournament. And she was a bat girl that year as well. And I think that just kind of gave her an aspiration of like, hey, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to be. I want to be at this level. And, she's been a complete asset to the team since her freshman year. I think coming in her freshman year, she, I went and watched her play quite a bit her freshman year. And I think her freshman year she came in, she was always a dominant pitcher, through the youth leagues. And, because she threw the ball pretty hard and at those levels, if you can throw strikes, you can dominate. When she got into high school, I think, that was the year Fairview won the state tournament, and Fairview really beat her up when they played. And it was one of those things, I think it was a kind of an eye-opening experience for her. And I'm really just kind of talking out without talking to her about it. But I think it was an eye-opening experience for her to realize that I got to put more work in. And since that point, she really has she's gotten in the gym. She's gotten stronger. She's gotten, she's refined her hitting, and she's just one of those girls, like you said, is exactly. It comes around once in a long time.
How much, though, her maturation was helped by her pitching coach with Brooklyn before she ends up going over to Defiance, of maybe helping her, kind of round off an edge that she hadn't maybe seen or figured out before that she needed to?
Yeah, I mean, Brooklyn really helped out. She was a big asset for us coming in there and helping being a pitcher herself and kind of helping Skylie understand, I think, some situational stuff more than anything. Different things and releases on pitches and stuff, and really just kind of helping her understand that part of the game, and then also helping understand like situational, like, hey, when you're here, you got to do this, and then this situation, you might want to try this, and Skylie gets hit. I mean, it's not like she gives up, bombs. She gave up a home run, the other day. You just get one up and it gets fat, and good hitter will take advantage of it. But she's learned a lot more to, place the ball in certain aspects. And I think Brooklyn was a big influence in that part of the game, is learning, situational. I mean, she helped her definitely mechanically, but I think helping her understand situational stuff a little bit more as well.
But is it hard to look at her and not laugh when she says things of, my goal is to have a 500 batting average, and she's sitting at 491 and she's disappointed?
Well, that was something that
I don't know that you don't realize this doesn't happen. That's not a real thing.
Yeah, well, that's something we talked about. She had a lot of strikeouts last year, and she hit a lot of home runs. And as the paper talked about, she was very instrumental and very clutch in stress moments. And she just was one of the things we talked about. And, her and I had a big conversation in the off season. Like, listen, I know you like hitting the ball, and we kind of worked on her swing a little bit, trying to fine tune some things. And, I always tell these girls, some of you are like a top fuel dragster. You're doing 300 mile an hour, but we want to do 301. So let's make some fine tune adjustments, and let's get that swing dialed in. And with Skylie, she swings it back very, very well. Did some drills to help her see the ball deeper. And I told her, let's work on getting you to a 500 batting average. Everything else will come along. If you get to that 500 batting average, you hit the ball way too well to not have the other accolades that you're looking for. But let's work on getting you to where you're making contact with the ball, putting the ball in play, hitting the ball solid and putting the ball in play. And that's the one thing that she spent a lot of time in the off season. T work. And again, in the weight room, just lifting weights. And she really fine tuned that swing, that next little twist. And she's been having great success this year, but it didn't come easy. That's for sure.
Tanae Smith, Tegan Norden, Mickey Starkey, Kaylee Lucas, Paige Gamby, Madison Spangler. It seems like the great thing about this group, I mean, I could read all their stats and they're all just ridiculous, but it seems like this group is kind of a rarity in that you've moved a couple of them with, Smith was a catcher. Now she's a third baseman. Is that true that this group, they really don't care where they are in the batting order, kind of where they are in the field, as long as they're playing well as a collective?
That's absolutely right. We focus on being a family and doing what's best for the family. And, you may not be playing a position you want to play, but this is where we need you to play right now. Not saying that it won't change. I mean, and we've talked about that at the beginning of the season. Just, we're going to put you in a position, and that doesn't mean it won't change in a week or might change in a day. But accept your role, play where you're supposed to, where we want you to play for now, and let's see how things go. And every year at the end of the season, you're kind of spitballing and throwing names at a dartboard, really, to see, okay, let's try this person here and see how this works. And when I coming into the season, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Coming into the season, this is not what I saw my field looking like. To be 100% honest with you, it was kind of like, her here, and after seeing, luckily for us, we got 4 scrimmages in, and so we got all of our scrimmages in before all the rain started coming in April. But just looking at the board and saying, you know what, I think if we put her here and, put her here, a great example is Madison Spangler. Freshman came in. She's a phenomenal ball player. She's going to do great things at Tinora. She come in, Michael, she's one heck of a catcher. She's a fantastic third baseman, got a great glove, got an absolute cannon for an arm, hits the crap out of the ball, and never thought at the beginning of the season that she's going to be playing in my center field position. But she's fast. We graduated Anna Frazier last year, who was really fast in the outfield, covered a lot of ground, and she was out there one of the games. I'm like, I'm just stick her out there. And she went after a ball and just ran it down. And I'm like, wow. And, you combine that with the arm that she can throw anybody out. She can throw people out from the fence to home plate. She has that kind of an arm. She has an arm that rivals a lot of boys. And so just kind of putting the pieces together and finding out where all the cogs match up the best was just kind of a challenge.
One of the stats that I came across, it just seems insane, that you average over 2 home runs a game. There's not a lot of teams that can say they have 3 different players or more that have 6 home runs, let alone the fact that you're closing in on 40 as a group. How much has that sort of been the greatest and the worst thing for you at times, because you have to maybe get them to temper that expectation of you're not always going to get that fat pitch you talked about earlier. You have to also be able to play a gap or play a ball through the infield.
Yep, it really is hard. And, I've had a talk with several different girls this year. They get out there, they're not doing as well. You got Paige Gamby, my catcher, which I mentioned Madison being a fantastic catcher. Paige Gamby, I can tell you a story about her in a minute, but a fabulous catcher. Probably, in my opinion, the number 1 catcher in the district. Absolutely knocking the cover off the ball. So Madison has to play a different position. But, when you got Paige Gamby, who's batting over 500. You got Skylie Zolman batting at 500. You got Madison Spangler batting right there below Skylie. And, you get these girls that are batting 370, and they're not happy. And then they start forcing, and things aren't going well, and they're taking bad swings, and maybe not swinging at the best pitch for them. And, you got to kind of go have a chat with them. Go, listen, if you're on any other team, very possibly you're the leading hitter on their team. You're batting right at 400. And I understand you're 6th on our team or 4th or 5th on our team, but you just go do your thing and let everything else go. And then you'll see the girls kind of turn around and do their thing. But sometimes those girls start forcing when you have a lineup like we have. 8 out of our 9 batters, starting 9, have hit home runs. So it's pretty impressive.
You've won the GMC repeatedly. You've gotten to the regionals, into the regional finals. When you came into this year, you guys are now within shooting distance with 4 regular season games to go to get to the program record of 20 wins that you set last year for the 2nd straight year. But coming in with all of those things of moving this girl or maybe having to figure out, can I get a 2-hitter in a 6th spot or whatever, what was the realistic goal in your mind for this team?
After graduating 5 seniors, it was one of those things that don't really know what to expect. Graduated 5 seniors, brought in 2 freshmen, all we brought in this year. And both of them I knew were good ball players. Madison Spangler already mentioned, and Zoe Billings. I knew they were great ball players. I worked with Zoe when she was a 10-year-old, doing some hitting lessons with her and stuff. And then, but just trying to figure out how things were going to fit together, and who was going to go where, and the underclassmen that had been waiting their turn, and here it is, to see where they were going to fall in and see what, how they were going to step up. I knew my seniors were there. They were good. They've been playing. They're seasoned. Kaylee Lucas coming in, she played JV last year, coming in this year as a senior to see where she was going to fit in, been playing fantastic in the outfield for me. And just trying to figure out how everybody was going to fit together. That's the biggest thing. And looking at the end goal, I don't really set goals for our team. I really don't. It's kind of, hey, this is your guys' team. What do you want? What are your goals? And, something I do every year with the girls. What are your goals? What do you guys want to accomplish individually and as a team? And I let them kind of dictate. And then I'm like, okay, now I will help you. I will get there and I'll help you do your thing. So it's, their goal was to win a conference championship. Their goal was to win get back to regionals and beyond. And so we're working our way through that scenario right now.
We've got 3 regular season games left before you start the tournament against either Archbold or Delta. Then you get Miller City on the 11th. You've got a busy week on the horizon.
Yeah, we've been pretty busy here. Like I said, with all the rainouts and the reschedules. The 1 week we played Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, doubleheader Saturday at Coldwater, and then we come back. And this past week we were supposed to play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, every day this week. But one of the games got rained out, and so we got a little bit of a reprieve on Thursday. But we did play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then we played Friday, Saturday. So we did get a reprieve on Thursday and got a day off. But we've been playing a lot, and we've definitely had a busy schedule the whole this last. And that's something we always talk about. Basketball, they play 20-some games, but they kind of stretch it out over a few months. Literally, baseball and softball, you play 27 games, you got to jam it in.
Right, 39 days, yeah. Well, if I ever get any funding or hit the lottery for the Mike Hearn Dome, I'm planning on building a baseball field and a softball field in the same place so that I can just rent it out. And you're more than welcome to come pay me to play there.
Perfect.
Then we won't have any rainouts.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll just have the other problem. We just have to find officials.
Yeah, it's been tough this year. This has been it's been tough. Like I said, we jockey games around and move them around. Then next thing you know, it rains again. Then we've got to move it again. And it's like we still have to play Paulding yet. And then Paulding, officially, we've got to share the conference title. But this is one thing where I tell the girls, I don't like sharing. I don't. This is one incident where I don't play well with others. I want it. I want this. Let's go get that and make it ours. Let's not share with anybody. But yeah, it's been a crazy year. But Paige Gamby, we were playing against. We had to go play Ayersville, which was a makeup game. And we're getting ready to fight the rain. The rain's coming that day, and it was last Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday. We played on Monday. We were supposed to play them Tuesday, then we moved it to Wednesday, got rained out again, so we moved it to Monday. And we're there Monday at Ayersville. The rain's coming. We're going to try to squeeze this thing in. Skyly's out warming up before the game. Paige is out there catching her and does not have her catcher's mask on. Irony of this whole thing is Skyly throws the ball in the dirt. It hits the catcher's mask, comes up and hits Paige Gamby right underneath her left eye. And that eye just, boom, swelled way up. And she was down. We kind of checked her out. We're taking care of her. Checked her out, made sure everything was good. Her eye looked good. It just puffed up just the way it hit. It just, boom, it was like a big blister almost on her face. And but it didn't swell up. It kind of stopped, and it didn't swell her eye shut. I thought for sure, in a couple minutes, her eyes going to be shut and she'll be able to play. And as soon as I checked her out and, checked her mouth, checked her jaw, checked her eye, she goes, "Can I play?" Paige, well, we're going to have to ask your parents because I'm not sure about this one. And can you even get your catcher's mask on? And she put her catcher's mask on, and it literally fit right around her gigantic cheek after it swelled up. The best place to be, I guess, to be behind the plate as long as you can see.
Right.
And her parents said, "Yeah, she can." Yeah, her parents said, "Yeah, you can play." So the trainer said she was good, and so we went ahead and let her play. And she got on base in the first inning and ended up scoring a run in the first. Skyly had a big hit, scored 2 runs, put us up 2-0 in the first. And I think it was in the third or fourth inning, Gamby comes up to the plate and hits a home run with one eye. So, and then at the end of the game, her eyes continued to swell as we played. By the time we got down to the end of the game, and we fought rain, like in the 6th, it started raining. We got pulled off the field for a little bit, got back out there, was able to finish it. But after the game, I should send you a picture of her eye after the game. She actually went to the hospital, had it x-rayed, had everything checked out. But her eye was, all but her eye was shut after the game, at the hospital. So she didn't play. That was on Monday. She did not play at Lincoln View on Tuesday, obviously. And then Wednesday, I text her and she says, "Yeah, I'm ready to play." I'm like, "Can you're good? You can see?" She's like, "Yeah, I can see a little bit." I go out there and for batting practice before the game against Fairview on Wednesday, and Michael, her eyes shut. All but shut. It's swelled shut. Like, how are you going to play? She's like, "I'm playing." Doctor said no restrictions, and as long as your parents have said you're good, you're good. So she hit. I think 2 home runs during batting practice. And all right, you're going to play. If you can catch Skyly, you're playing. So
if you can hit 2 home runs batting practice with one eye, get out there.
Yeah. So she goes over to starts catching Skyly for warm ups. I'm kind of looking over, watching her continuing batting practice, and she seems to be doing okay. And her dad walks by and he walks over to me and goes, "Hey, she hasn't missed a ball yet. Give me the thumbs up." All right, whatever. So I walk over there and I talk to Skyly like I typically do to see, how things are going. And she's like, "Okay, I'm done." Gives Paige the thumbs up. Paige comes up. She walks over. She pulls her catcher's mask off. And her dad had taken 2 steri strips and I literally taped her eyelid open so she could see. And she caught that whole game against Fairview, never missed a ball. Oh, my gosh. I tell you what, she was a trooper.
Wow.
I just couldn't believe it.
So the mode here is that you guys are going to use your toughness to go far in the tournament.
Yeah, I hope so. Because and then she played last night at Van Buren, and she still a little puffy. She can see through it more now. But she hit another home run last night against Van Buren. So I'm like, hey, you leave the one eye shut, I guess. That's going to work for you.
Right. Well, I really hope I've enjoyed this. I really hope that leads to a very, very long tournament run for you girls.
I hope so.
And I appreciate you. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Mike. I appreciate you giving me a chance.
That's the head coach of the Tinora Lady Rams softball program, and Tony Fairchild. We've got some more coming your way in just a couple of minutes.
Who was the best pizza in the area? Anyone? Drop Zone Pizzeria in Ayersville and Stryker has won that award 3 times in the last 4 years. From pilot bread to their famous pickle pizza, Harold and Liz and the crew are always looking for something special for their customers. Drop into Drop Zone Pizzeria's 2 locations in downtown Ayersville at 13995 Fruit Ridge Road and also at 301 South Defiance Street in downtown Stryker. Closed on Mondays, but open Tuesday through Thursday and Sunday from 4 to 8 p.m., Friday and Saturday from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Place your order by calling Ayersville at 419-395-2525 or Stryker at 419-990-2525. Don't forget to visit them on Facebook at the Drop Zone Pizzeria, where online ordering is available at toasttab.com. The Drop Zone Pizzeria, as always, says, "Let's go Rams."
In the event you did not see it last weekend, a young lady from Coldwater had one spectacular Saturday afternoon. Madison Wendell broke the max career home run record, surpassing Haley Hawk from Parkway, who had 41 in her career. But now Madison with 42. Why? Because she hit 5 home runs in a doubleheader on Saturday. Tied the OHSAA's extra base and home run record. Claire Steinke also joined her on that record as she had 5 extra base hits in that doubleheader. She's a decent pitcher, too. 1,000 career strikeouts, became the 32nd pitcher in OHSAA history to accomplish that. Also broke the program record for hits with 163. 3 home runs in Game 1, 2 home runs in Game 2 against Fort Recovery. Adding to the fact that she had already broke the school's career home run record and the career's run scored record back on April 25th. Wendell and Steinke combined for back-to-back no-hitters earlier this season. They had 3 at that point, and a crazy thing to me, they were each, this means both of them, by the way, they were each walked intentionally 5 times in a game against Parkway. Tied the OHSA record, and as you would expect, Haley Hawk from Parkway was exactly who was on the other side of it. Now, in an oddity, Parkway ended up winning the game. Why? Because that's how sports works. So a big thank you to Tony Fairchild and Brooke Austin, and a big congratulations to Madison and Claire Steinke for the careers that they have had. Every single one of the 1,000 strikeouts that Madison has had in her career before she heads to fire up at Central Michigan, all caught by Claire Steinke. I think that's amazing. That's what I've got for the show this week. Thank you so much for listening. Hit me up on Twitter. Let me know who you would like to hear, what story you would like to hear as well. And that's what we have. Have a great night, and even better tomorrow. And we'll talk to you soon here on Around the Hern.
Here I go. We hope you've enjoyed this edition of Around the Hern.
Come back next week for more local stories from the NWO. But until then, be sure to follow us on Twitter at Michael Hearn PBP for more great area content.